Hey everybody, this is Rob Gauthier. Welcome to the ET Whisper YouTube channel. Hey everybody, Rob Gauthier here. We are so excited today. We're going to be bringing forward the Galactic Channeling. We have not been steady in our work for the last 4 to 5 months, as you've seen. We've been in and out of personal issues. I talked a little bit about it last time about court, but that's settled now and behind us. We know what our schedule is going to look like this whole year, and that's reflected in all of the events that we've got coming up and all of the things we're doing with Patreon. If you want to know more about those, check these links above. Alright guys, so let's get into it. We are going to bring Aridif forward for an amazing Galactic Channeling. I have no clue what it's going to be about, who he's going to bring forward, or what they're going to talk about, but every time last year that we had a Galactic Channeling, most of them had to do with human connection and DNA. A couple of the races didn't have anything to do with our DNA, but had to do with contact with humanity. So maybe it'll be in that group, maybe it won't. We'll let Aridif decide. Enjoy the channeling, guys. Greetings to all, this is Aridif, that is A-R-I-D-I-F, and this is it spelled. We understand that it has been some time before bringing forward these entities from what you would perceive as the Galactic Collective Consciousness, or the Galactic Channeling, such as Rob would call this. We are bringing forward an entity today that will bring forward and shed light upon subjects that you are deeply desiring to understand. Many of you are speaking of entities that are perceived as the blue avian concepts. Now, there are 3 versions of these beings that are in the Galactic Collective Consciousness. 2 of these entities are what you would perceive as Type 2. One of them fairly benevolent, the way that you perhaps would see the other quite benevolent, and the third a Type 1 entity. There are other blue avians that co-create with humanity that are of a Type 2 malevolent, or a Type 2 within the mid-range, but these entities do not frequently connect to humanity. So we bring forward those 3 versions, and out of those 3, we are bringing forward the most benevolent of all, and the most connected in the Type 2 variety. One moment we will connect you. I'm happy to be here. I'm excited to speak. So many humans I've spoke to, but not many at once. I'm happy to be the leeway or the between person, the conversation starter for this specific interaction. My name is very similar to sounds that appear in your own ear or tongue of human. My name is Eirota, and this is a name that is very permanent. It's been around before any human who lives on Earth has been around. I myself am 498 of your years with 365 days per year, and that is a part of my own experience from my race. And from my perspective and my race, I am still fairly young. We can live to be over 1,400 years of yours, some as old as 1580, and even a very few that have been 1620 and 1630. So these numbers seem very large to you, but they're growing every millennia for us. And to tell you about my race, and there are many things I can share with you, and many things I can tell you about the race, and I want to give you the opportunity to ask those questions. But first, in the most simple parts, so that you can know more about where I come from and why we connect with human beings. I come from an area of a sky that you call the nebula, some call the creation pillars. Behind those gases there are stars, many stars, just in this galaxy alone. And 1,900 light years through the clouds, beyond the reach of the cloud, lies my own home star. The star is one that's much smaller than yours, less than 1/3 the size. In fact, it's 29 or 30% of your star. And this star inhabits 9 planets and 14 moons. And out of those 9 planets and 14 moons, we live on one of the biggest moons. The biggest moon that goes around the second largest planet. On that moon we have inhabited life, and we have many different things that are similar to Earth. We have an atmosphere that is only 180% the depth and density of yours. We also have water that is liquid form, and we have large bodies of water, although not as large as your oceans. There are much more bodies of water on our planet than there is yours. Our race is a race that has about 49 million beings on the whole planet, and most live in 4 different cities. All of those cities are in the northern hemisphere, and the southern hemisphere of our planet is a bit too windy, a bit too cold, and in some places a bit too barren with no water for us to have evolved on. We are very similar to your race in the evolution process. We are also number 4 of 6 steps, 4th densities. That 4th density energy is more towards the middle part instead of the beginning part like yours. So we have so many different things to tell you and share, but the most important part from my understanding of this communication is to tell you why human beings. We are avian beings by the definitions that you have, but that is only a small part of the energy. Although we do appear much like the animal beings on your planet called birds, we still are humanoid, very humanoid. We have fingers and we have toes and we have facial structures similar to yours, but our skin is different. Where you have skin with hair, we have skin with feathers, and that skin with feathers, it's not very different than some of your earlier dinoids or dinosaurs. The feathers that we have are multiple shades of blue. Most of them are some of the darker blues that human eyes see. Some of the ones that are darker than the day sky within yours, all the way to the darker water blue colors, the deeper naval blues, and some of them are very light, like your day sky in the lightest parts, or the robin egg blue is the word that Rob's mind chose for that color. Our eyes are much different than yours. Our spectrum that we see in color is a bit smaller than humans. And this is something we've grown just in the last 3 millennia from our own evolution of our physical bodies. Before, we could still see about 40% of the colors that you could see, and now it's closer to 65 or 70%. So we continue to grow our ability to see colors out also. And the reason that we believe that humans are necessary to speak to is because the beings that come from your planet called birds and our own energy share a very similar evolutionary path. Many of the beings will evolve and grow past the animals of birds that they are and turn into what humans call avian humanoids or avian beings. So each animal upon your planet, even this dear being, reincarnates many more times and then becomes a being who is bipedal and walks with 2 feet. and this will put this being in the last and middle parts of the third level or third density. If there are any questions that you have about my race, I can answer them quickly.
Yes, thank you. I was wondering, are you the same blue avians that a lot of people have been talking about? And what is also your connection to ancient Egypt, if there is any?
We haven't been connecting with humans in ancient Egypt, although we've connected for long periods of time. We never connected to beings who are called Egyptians. We connected only to other tribes and other races or bi-tribes. And these beings that we communicated with were very nice and very kind, but more of our communications have been now in the last 35 to 45 years of your times because of humans' telepathy, and it's been growing, so we're able to come in. Most of our encounters come through the sleeping dimensions, and the sleeping dimensions is the communication's best diagnostic for communication.
Okay. I think also, wasn't you that came a couple of months ago to speak? And I don't know if Rob had put that footage up there, but there was another avian being who spoke. That wasn't you, was it?
That is not from our race. Our race has never communicated to Rob directly, verbally. We've connected to Rob 4 times before, but always in sleeping dimensions.
So there are multiple avian races.
Yes.
Do you guys interact with each other?
Some of the avian beings in the galaxy we do. A lot of them we do not. We're still learning technology to go across the galaxy. Right now we're able to travel 5,000 light years in a span that you would call less than 1 month of your time. So we're still fairly new at our intergalactic travel for longer distances. We've only been able to take that speed across the galaxy for just a little over 1,000 years.
Yeah.
So we're still evolving, but many of the avian beings that we communicate with come to us or find us in human dream dimensions or Syrian dream dimensions, and some races that I don't have profile name for human understanding, but many of these races are similar to your evolution in the 3 and 4 levels, densities that are going between or just starting 4th densities.
And one more, because I know you probably have to be going soon, but I've noticed a pattern when beings come. I suspect a lot of them are coming because others that may be watching, there may be a counterpart or counterparts of yours that may be watching. Would you like to take the opportunity, if this is so, to give a message to this counterpart or counterparts? Because I'm sure they'll feel it in their hearts as you speak.
There are chances that at least 17 of the beings on your planet now who have access or ability to see this will know us when they hear our words and hear our energy. And those 17 beings are in alignment with Rob's energy and your energy also, because they are beings who exist in an oversoul region that is ours collectively. So all 17 of those beings have had many connections to avian beings on your planet, or who have avian dream connections or symbol power energy connections to these animals, such as your beings called Native Americans they symbolize the avian energy and power with the bird animal, and that bird animal brought the representation of having power or energy for their individual power animals. So those who feel the avian energy as power animals will be very likely to have known us or have communicated with us.
Oh yes, I know my father, for one, has a very deep bond with the avian races lately. So.
And from the energy of Rob's understanding your father, we know him, but not from this level, not from the level of human incarnations, but one from a very different place.
Very nice. And do you have a geometric symbol or sound or something when people are thinking of you or want to, go into the dream state and work with you or meet you?
We don't use symbols or sounds the same way that many other races and many humans do. What we suggest to feel our energy or to know us is to think about your own energy connection to the power animal or symbol that is avian or bird-like, and then have that feeling of connection for us specifically. And that will be one way to do the connection and connecting to us. And I want to thank you for your questions and thank Rob for his physical ability to allow me to speak through his precious vehicle and precious tool of vibration and sound.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
You're always welcome to come back and speak again.
Thank you. This means great much to me.
Yes.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Much love. Goodbye.
Hey everybody, that was an amazing channeling. As always, Aridif brings forward the best entities from the Galactic Channeling Forward, and we want to let you guys know we are so thankful for your support and your love. A lot of people were worried about the Patreon taking away from this YouTube channel, but as you can see, this is going to help us. This is going to give us days that we can take off where we are getting paid, and we're going to be able to have longer times and we can put out more content. Right now, as you can see, the same shirt that I'm wearing right here is the same one I'm going to be wearing in the Patreon video for all of you who want that Patreon. Thank you guys for your support. If you want the Patreon package, go to Patreon. If not, you can always donate at etwhisper.com/donate, or go to the bottom of each page on etwhisper.com. There's a donate button, or donate your love. Send us your love. Send us your comments on the video below. Any support that you give us, we are so happy with, and we are so thankful to be creating free channeled information for all of you guys from our hearts and our desire to share all this wonderful, groundbreaking, awesome channeling that Aridif and all the entities share. That's what we're excited to do. So Kalina and I love you from the bottom of our hearts, and we'll see you next month or the next channeling, depending on which comes first. Love you guys.